Ashley.
Jared Eilert.
And we are almost underway here for the elimination final in the TIO Stadium of the NTFL 2016-17 season. It's one out by Jamar. Christian Papertalk can't pick it up. Gets his kick blocked. Buffaloes with early run. I'm Ashley Manakaris. Joining me is 2 times Nichols medalist Jared Eilert and Peter Atkinson as our boundary riders. Peter, just quickly to you, the conditions look pretty good.
Yeah, very warm, of course, but no breeze favouring. There's no breeze favouring either end, so it'll be a fair test. If it's a tight contest, it'll be a test of fitness.
And Jared, early on we see O'Sullivan versus Mark Jamar. A great matchup today.
Sensational matchup. 2 very key players that will bring their little runners into the game. So watch out for that matchup. But Darwin coming in this game with all the momentum, and District's looking for that first final win in a few years.
Oh, Jake rode Duggan wrapped up there by Alex Erlitzen. Interesting, Kevin Moroney stood him early as Erlitzen for Darwin. Sends it up to a 3-on-1 and it's punched away. And has gone out of bounds.
I mean, just some of the key players, Darwin Buffaloes, Cameron Stokes, Damien Williams, Ryan O'Sullivan, they're going to have to lead the way to bring in players like Matthew Campbell, Adam Sambono, and for Southern Districts, Jared Brennan, Mark Jamar and William Farrer, key players for that.
Well, Jamar taken high, advantage paid. Papertalk will run away from that throw-in. He'll sends it up looking for Farrer, the captain. Goes high, backing in with Stokes. Trying to knock it out is Jared Brennan. Quick kick, left foot over. Atkinson got a push in the back and will get a free kick. Your umpires today, Andrew Smith in the cap, Jamison Galbraith and Stephen Panja. Elijah Ware, the hero that got them into the final series, kicking that goal in the last few seconds in the last round. Second last round, comes across to Cameron Stokes. They'll kick it back to each other. Looking, prodding, looking for something to open up. Pretty well manned up there. Districts look like they're playing the loose player across the defensive line, which is Lionel Ogden. As Ware goes in short. Picks out Williams, right on the boundary line. Zachary Smith stands the mark. It's long and high. Jamar gets back and takes a solid mark. This is where he'll be influential across that half back line.
Yeah, there's no getting around him, is there?
No.
He's a big unit, and just dropping back in the defensive hole to fill up the space and chopping off any forward entries.
Now, of course, the big out for Darwin is their skipper, Phil Wills, who's really damaged a groin. So he's a bit of a loss. Or as McAdam got taken high as he was falling, but let go. Play on is the call. Ball's coming out. And in fact, a holding the ball has been found, and it'll go to Darwin.
Clark Edwards
Gets his first touch. Cutting it off was Jamar coming out there. Hagan, 3-on-1. Knocks Bowden off the ball, but takes him high in the process. So Michael Bowden will get a kick. Thunder defender. He kicks back inboard. Finds Valance. And they're away through Lionel Ogden through the middle. Has a bounce, but Moroney wraps him up beautifully. And a free kick for holding the ball. Moroney with a great tackle.
almost 50-metre penalty there with Southern Districts dropping the ball, but this is where Buffaloes are dangerous. Out on the other side once they get a quick play.
Archer was the target for Sambono, but it got chopped off there. And the ball will go out of bounds.
The interesting matchup, Michael Bowden on Hagan. Normally see Hagan on a half-back flank providing a bit of run and pace off the half-back line for Buffaloes. On Mark Motlock changing it up.
Perhaps Clinton Gallio taken hard there after he gave the handball away, kept his feet though. On that far side, Darwin trying to wrap that ball up. Good camera work there from Jade, bringing those pictures for you through the television there. Good work from him. Jared Stokes with one of his first possessions sends it up looking for the leading teammate and finds him. And Darren Schillerbeer centres that ball looking for Elijah Ware, pushed away by McAdam, but he recovers. Does Ware, can't get rid of it. Now he does. Play on is the call. Loose on there, Bowden. Now it comes out with a snap from Jared Stokes. 25 out, but it'll go across out of bounds on the full. Peter, early observations between these two teams?
Yeah, just a real tight start. Both sides pretty desperate for the ball. Yeah, they've just got to make the most of their opportunities. I'm just checking, there's a player out there, number 20, that's not on the team sheet. Who's number 20? Is that Fishwick?
Schillerbeer.
No, 20.
Darren Schillerbeer from 48 goes for goals, but it comes off hands. Sabono got his fingertips on it. Young Smith was there as well, and Liam McKenzie will bring it back in, and he brings it in short. Finds Roe Duggan. Roe Duggan gets it outside that 50. Timmy Eldridge. Anderson cleans up the loose ball, has his handball smothered though by Gallio. Ball still in through centimetres. Dragged off it was Anderson and held without it, and he'll get a free kick. On the spot is the umpire as Eldridge and Gallio wrestle. Stephen Anderson go back and have a kick. That's a good early possession for him.
Yeah, he just come on off the interchange as well, so to get straight in the game, that's exactly what you want.
Jamar knocked away from him. Oh, paper talk, shows the ball goes another way. Looking for Brown, who drags it in with one hand. Then looks further upfield, he's got Farah, who's a long way from home. Marks it centimetres inside, then kicks it centimetre perfect to his teammate. Loose bounce. Stokes is in there though to disrupt proceedings. That was Bradley Valance.
And coach of Southern District, Shannon Rusk, will be wanting those three players to get in plenty of the football. Jared Brennan, nice little one-handed mark, kick into William Farah, over in the face at the back to Valance.
Well, I haven't asked anyone their tips, but quickly, Jared, your tip for today?
I think Darwin Buffaloes come into this game with a lot of momentum.
Marcus Hamilton didn't play last week, has a slap. Puts it on the boot, but it goes through for a point. Just over 6.5 minutes gone. 1 point apiece. Peter, your tip for today?
Buffalo's on form, but narrowly, very narrowly. I think it'll be a great game.
As Moroney looking for Damien Williams. Great grab, strength. Keeps his ground, then plays on. He's got the running Eldridge. Eldridge has two bounces. Chased by Brennan, drags him down, gets a kick inside. Liam McGregor gives it off the old 1-2. But it's a shocker, looking for Rosier. O'Sullivan dragged without the ball, let go. Eldridge back to Williams, who steps through traffic, then wrapped up beautifully. Got the handball away, and deliberate out of bounds has been pinged.
Well,
he was under pressure there.
Well, Gallio in the last 2 minutes has just had been high intensity physical attack on the ball, and I guess he's been tasked to just get underneath the skin of Darwin Buffaloes.
Before we went to air, we were talking about who did they have as a player that could physically match someone like Cameron Stokes. Perhaps it's Gallio today. As Stokes, the man we're just talking about, punches away. Erlinson grabbed without it and will get a free kick. Roe Duggan, the offender. Yeah, physically, Gallio's demonstrating that he might be the one that plays that enforcer role today.
Absolutely.
Erlinson, long kick down the line that may go out of bounds on the full. And Districts will get a turnover and get the kick. And it'll be in the hands of Jared Brennan. Hasn't really got a lock up forward for him, so he might have to go sideways. And he just goes in short, picks out Rosier. One of 8 players to come back into this District side. Rosier short to Bowden. He looks to give it off. Instead, he goes up, picks out a teammate. Great fingertip mark there.
He's had a couple of important possessions, or made some space at the back. He attacked the footy. Balance number 13 for Southern District, coming off for a spell now. But he looks to be pretty important to the structure up forward for Southern District.
Umpire having to clear out the 10-metre area.
Dean Hollyman, the matchup on Will Farah, and noticeable that this Damien Williams has a heavily bandaged thigh.
As Will Farah goes back and puts it through for a point. Peter, what do you think about that matchup? I would have thought he'd be a bit quick for Hollyman.
Could be, but certainly body strength there, and if he can get to the contest, then Will's going to in for a hard day.
Moroney over to Campbell. This looks good. Campbell over the top to Collinson. Collinson sends it up the line. Great pass looking for Archard. Archard sends it up to the contest of Shillabeer. Smith, punched away by Smith and will go out of bounds. That was a very good build-up by Darwin just then.
Yeah, just catching Southern Districts out on pace on the far side. Just a quick kick in.
And the names of Moroney, Campbell and Collinson will need to combine a lot today.
Absolutely. Great roving, Michael Hagan. Unfortunately, the skill's not great. Left foot, but deep inside the forward 50 for Darwin Buffaloes. That's where you want it.
He's another one today that is very important. And it's interesting, I think they want to test Bowden's speed out, which is probably why they've got the match up there. Bowden's pretty damaging off that half-back flank at times. Jamar goes to his knee. Punched on by Gallio. Rosier disrupted his kick. Stokes picks it up, then puts it on the boot straight away, straight to a contest. Hagan, good body work. Will he keep it in? He tries. He still does. Beats one. Now he's got time. Right foot snap at goal is unsuccessful, sadly. Deserved more.
Did extremely well to keep the ball inside play then, and just showing the speed that he has, which can be quite dangerous and valuable for Darwin Buffaloes up forward.
He's played most of the season at half-back, Hagan, and he's just given him plenty of life across half-forward today. Good move.
Jamar picks out a beautiful pass to the running Matty Rosier, who then puts it up to Roe Duggan, who spills it. Paper talk cleaned up. Duggan will get the second chance at it from 49. He sits it up and high and long. And the Crocodiles are on the board.
Talk about build-up from Buffaloes a minute ago, but look at that kick from Jamar. Just pinpoint accuracy in the middle of the ground.
Literally in the middle of the ground, in the circle.
Looking like a bullseye in the centre circle there anyway, but look at this kick. Coming into Matthew Rosier, who found some space at the back, and as hard and tough as Matthew Rosier is, he's in and under, but he plays a high possession game as well. Great smother by Timothy Eldridge for Buffaloes, but Jake Roe Duggan.
You know, Roe Duggan might be somewhat of a key for the Crocodiles today, because with someone like Matty Rosier in the side, Roe Duggan gets brought into the game.
Absolutely. He's going to have to work the backs. He's going to get front and centre. He's going to have to rum off the forwards.
Jamar with experience then beats out against O'Sullivan. They have cleared it away through Christopher Williams. Out wide to the running O'Sullivan. He then's long looking for Archard. Punched away from him. Coming through as Anderson. He had the opportunity to give a handball away, didn't, went for the kick and went to Shillabeer. Good skills, Sambono's at the back there. Shillabeer can't quite pick it up. Archer's recovered, hurried handball to Shillabeer, keeps his feet, then decides to have a kick. It's lucid near the square. Campbell keeping it into Sambono, he's wrapped up. Clark's knocked off it. Trying to dive on it there was Bowden. Hurried kicked out, O'Sullivan though. Can't pick it up, comes to Hagan. He goes in short, looking for a teammate and finds him. It's Archer.
Well, they had all the numbers, Buffaloes, in the forward 50, but desperate defence by Districts to repel the first attack. I thought Darwin should have given a couple of handballs there, the first options, but they were able to get the numbers to the football and finally hit a target.
It's going to be interesting, actually. We see where Jamar is now in the field in terms of in the centre corridor in the defensive part, and O'Sullivan stayed outside of that 50.
Archer
right behind the kicker, and Archer just drifts across to the right.
Went back on it for a bit.
Well, they probably had a couple of decent opportunities that they haven't converted. The kick in was courageous, but Smith up to it. But the kick is wobbly, bouncing. Farah 2-on-1. O'Sullivan lined him up but missed him. Elijah Ware gets Farah and drives Farah in the back, and the ball will have to come back behind the mark. Will Farah across half back effectively, the full forward, looking for a kick.
Mark Motlop be happy with that. If Will Farah's getting touches on the half back line, well and truly out of position.
Off hands. Paper talk, can't get a clean handball away. Eldridge cleans up, keeps it in. The running Williams now on to Hagan, who's got a paddock in front of him. Hagan's kick is cut off. And he finds Jamar, I think that's Baker actually, that defender. We'll get that confirmed. As Jamar kicks along the line. Contest between James Wall and Erlitzson. And in that contest, the boundary won.
Both teams not given much at the moment. It's a bit of an arm wrestle. Obviously feeling out each other out in the conditions. Looks like there's a slight breeze going across the ground, so that is advantage to either end, I'm not sure.
Sleeth on, giving Jamar a rest. They're trying to get it through. Good pressure from the Darwin defenders, midfielders. Atkinson with a hurried kick away off the side of his boot. Clark picks it up, tries to beat one. Got taken high and will get a free kick. Well, Sleeth for Southern Districts will take over the rucking duty as the kick to Williams hits the ground. Duffy with a hurried kick forward for the Crocodiles. Paper talk in front, can't keep his feet. Stokes. Bradley gets up, has time, gives it over to Hagan, who has space again. Now a little kick over to Erlitzson. Here come the Buffaloes. Buffaloes in short. Erlitzson finds Archer. He's being very creative and a good avenue across half forward.
Yeah, if Darwin have hit their targets and used them properly, it's like he's going to end up with a fair bit of ball.
Peter, does having two talls up forward for the Buffaloes help as Archer comes in?
I think it's an advantage in these conditions, but gee, they're wasting opportunity.
Well, they may regret these later in the game. Remember, the loser is out and the winner goes on. And for the winner to make it all the way to the grand final, they actually have to win 3 games. So it's an arduous task. Not impossible, just difficult. McGregor. Kick was offline. Stokes, hurried handball over the top. Hagan's there. He's got 2. He got taken high though. Rosier, the offender.
I think Darwin Buffaloes is one of very few teams that have actually done it from 5th position.
I think Wanderers are the only club to have reached it from this final, but they may have finished 4th.
Off hands.
Shillabeer.
Elijah Ware takes out McGregor on the kick. Wall beaten. Erlitzson. Good quick hand. Savika having to scramble. Got his hands on it. He's dragged it in. He's dragged it in. What's the umpire going to do? He's going to ball it up. He didn't really have prior, but certainly sitting over it on the ground. Atkinson moved into the ruck for the Buffaloes. Really trying to keep the pressure. Hagan trying to be creative. Soccers it on. Clever skills, good vision. Jared Stokes trying to pick it up, can't do it. Oh, he keeps it in front of him, keeps his feet. Now he accelerates. Stokes from 35 out, trying to bring it around.
Just clips
the post on the way through. He just weaved his way through that crowd.
He knew exactly what he was doing. He knew where the space was. Needed to find the opening to explode into it, accelerate into it.
Ball will be thrown in. Moroney, an appeal there from Lionel Ogden about where he thought Moroney was going, and Moroney knew where he was going. It was going on the boundary line. 18 minutes gone. District's the only goal-scoring team at the moment. 1 goal, 2-8. They lead 4 points. Darwin has had some real good opportunities, haven't been able to convert them. As Jared Brennan goes in short looking for Sleeth, but it's going to beat Sleeth and it'll come to Stokes, Bradley Stokes. He's got the running Atkinson. Atkinson's got a couple of targets and one of them is Kevin Moroney. Moroney, he gets it, keeps running, in short, looking for Shillabeer, sliding, hits the ground. Play on is the call. Held it up and the ball will be thrown up. Bit fortunate that he didn't get pinged there because it didn't look like it was never going to be paid a mark.
No, that's right. He tried. He thought he had the back to the disguise it well because the back was to the umpire. But yeah, lucky to get away with that one. He just stopped and didn't even try to get the ball out.
Finals football is here. The NTFL season 2016 and 17. We're approaching time on. Jamar takes front position. Williams, though, and it's been kicked, hurried, kicked high, 2-on-1. Jared Brennan puts it on the boot, but sends it out of bounds into the coach's box. Into the Southern District's coach's box.
Going back to that last ball up, it was a nice clearing kick by Matthew Campbell, and 3 Buffaloes players actually pushed to try and get front and centre. Yeah. Didn't get the bounce that they wanted. But they have another chance to go inside their forward 50.
Elijah Ware picks out Matthew Campbell. He's pointing, he's going to have a crack. It's probably not too bad on a day like this. He gives himself every opportunity. Jamar from Southern Districts has set himself up inside the square and now there's going to be a 50. So if he was a chance before, now he's a dead set certain. And I'm not sure what that was for, but Jared Brennan seems to be the offender.
Yeah, well, Buffalo certainly needed a goal. They've had 4 scoring opportunities and plenty of ball inside their 50.
Peter, do you have any idea what that was for?
I think it was for an offence back here in the middle group, the midfield group.
Okay, has a whistle gone in the middle, has it?
From the umpire in the centre down to the other umpire, and he applied the 50. But I didn't see any thing of what happened. But I think the player that brought about the problem for Southern Districts was Freddie Sleeth.
And they're all having a bit of a talk to Freddie Sleeth now across that half-back, and Will Farrer's pushing him away. So Darwin take the lead here. 1 goal for 10 points to 1 goal 2, 8 points. We are 21 minutes into this first term. A minute of time on so far. Matty Campbell, the goal scorer. An important goal for the Buffaloes.
Absolutely, they needed to get a goal in the first quarter just to get a bit of reward for effort for all the possession that they've had.
Williams is in the ruck against Jamar. Jamar 1 out. The ball's been locked up and it'll be restarted in the centre circle again.
Certainly been a physical start to the game, and discipline will be a key, as we saw last week. Buffaloes against Nycliffe, a little bit undisciplined, so the Darwin Buffaloes were, so if they can maintain that.
Well, I suppose on that front now the score is 1-0 in favour of 1 to Southern Districts and 0 to Darwin, which gives them a slight advantage. Paper talk, well tackled, off to Eldridge and then quick hands to Bradley Stokes, out wide to Jared Stokes. He now winds up looking in short to the leading Shillabeer and the siren sounds. So here we are, first term gone, the elimination final, and Darwin hold a slender 2-point lead against Southern Districts, 1 goal 4-10. They lead Southern Districts 1 goal 2-8.
Time to escape, cause I'm in need of warmer weather. Sail upon the stream to find there's someplace better. And I'm going far and wide.
Great Northern Brewing Co., the beer from up here.
Just another beautiful day in the territory, huh?
Doesn't get any better.
Yeah.
You guys catch anything yet?
Nah, nothing yet, but we're feeling lucky.
See you later.
Road tyres.
Yeah, soft sand.
And a 7-metre tyre. What could possibly go wrong?
Oh, plenty.
Local knowledge is important. Talk to us about TIO Comprehensive Car Insurance. Call us today on 131 TIO. TIO, we're for Territorians.
This summer, pass your personal best. Pass the time doing things you love. Pass the SunSense, please. SunSense SPF 50+ is a very high UV sunscreen sold only in pharmacies that's made right here in Australia for Australian conditions. And for the best price on SunSense, you can't go past Chemist Warehouse.
Intersport, new concept store now open in Casuarina Square. Come in and check out a world-class shopping experience.
Dedicated sport zones.
Now stocking only the biggest brands in tennis, cricket, fitness from treadmills to benches, boxing, swimming, darts, pool and table tennis. For awesome service and advice, still locally owned and operated, the all-new Intersport concept store.
Now open at Casuarina Square.
Introducing Southern Cross Television's NTFL broadcast partners. TIO, we're for Territorians. Kennard's Hire, making your job easy.
Darwin hold a slender 2-point lead as we get the second term underway here at TIO Stadium. Jumping high was Mark Jamar. It's one down by Gallio, and Gallio gets a quick kick away. It's cut off though by Stokes. Not clear. Paper talk. Campbell trying to rush it forward. Here they come out of it through Chris Williams. He's got the running Jared Stokes, who's had 2 bounces, misses up the second one, given some time through O'Sullivan with a Shepherd. Hurried handball out to Chris Williams. He steps back inside, beats one. Short kick. Oh, it's a fortune. Finds the Clark Edwards coming in, who right foot puts it in. Sadly offline. I don't think Chris Williams lined up Clark Edwards just then.
No, he's under a fair bit of pressure to get the ball moving quickly and just come off the side of the boot.
Matty Rosier trying to clean it up, takes it out wide. Kevin Moroney comes in. Ball might go out of bounds, and on that break, Peter Atkinson, I saw you went down to the Southern Districts area. It looked like Matt Kennard and Shannon Rusko are having a lot to say.
Yeah, they were relatively happy with their effort, but the stat that stood out, most of the areas like contested ball and whatever were quite even, but inside 50s, 17-5 according to their stats, Buff's way. So to only have 5 scoring shots from 17 entries is a pretty poor result, whereas District's 3 from 5 entries, much better.
And I have to say to you, though, the score could easily have been, I mean, they were offline and some of those scores weren't recorded, but it could easily have been 5 goals won right now. Collinson, roving. Cleaned up, though. Districts, send it forward. Land of the hands of Eldridge. The true centre-half back position. He goes in short, finds Williams, who started in the middle this second term. Out wide again to Collinson, front of the scoreboard. Collinson kicks to the contest, punched away from Archer, tried to be kept in.
And we've only had the 2 goal kickers so far, Ashley. Jake Rowe-Duggan for Southern Districts and Matthew Campbell getting the 1 goal for Darwin Buffaloes on the back of a 50-metre penalty. So, you know, even that stat alone, Darwin Buffaloes could have been scoreless or goalless first quarter.
And Rowe-Duggan's goal from 49 metres was an absolute perler. Hurried kick away. Flyer is Ogden. Paper talk roves it. Gives it off to Wall. Sending it up. Fingertips is Farah. He paid the mark.
Great attack on the ball by Ogden then. Just wanted it more and kept the ball in front of for his crumbing players.
Farah plays on quickly, trying to caress that ball through the goals, but it bounces in the square and goes through for a point. Bradley Stokes will restart play. And he decides to go very long and finds Moroney. How is Moroney all alone? That's the question. He then kicks along the line. He's got Timmy Eldridge's speed, so wrapped up though by Ogden. Ball goes out of bounds.
Great contest.
Very good contest in the centre wing area. How does Moroney get space like that?
Well, it was interesting. It was a point made by Shannon Rusker that he needed his forwards to work hard on the runners, and Moroney's a runner. But Paper Talk just watched him run away.
As Gallio sends it long, looking for Farah. Bounces at his feet, but he picks it up first time. Balks one way, then the other, then sets it back inside to Gallio, who kicked it to him in the first place. And Gallio, Clinton Gallio will go back. Looks in short now. Has he got a space? He has. Jared Brennan.
Well, you ask how Moroney gets space. How does Jared Brennan get space? He's just drifted down. No one following from the Darwin midfield, but it all comes back to Jamar's dominance in the ruck. Yep. Just winning that clearance, well, again, that tap down to his players. And we see Matthew Campbell in a world of hurt for Darwin Buffaloes.
Not a good sign as Jared Brennan goes back. And he converts, and the Crocodiles get their second goal.
Peter, did you see how Matthew Campbell...
No, but you're correct. He's in a fair bit of pain, and I'll keep an eye on that. Report back.
That's the tap I was referring to in the replay. Just allowed Valance to win the football off Mark Jamar's tap.
So we won't see him in the screen, but Brennan has just drifted down inside the 50, and he's almost done a dog's leg. So he's dropped in, He's in that outside corridor. We don't see the replay cut short, but then he gets that little chip over from Gallio, goes back and slots it from about 35 out. O'Sullivan, Jamar wins out again. Long tap, picked up by the winger from Districts. Rosier is in there. Roe Duggan, one of the goal kickers, one of 2 goal kickers for the Crocodiles. Inside 50. Erlitzson versus Brennan. Brennan taps out, then gives a handball over the top to Wall. Wall's looking for someone to help out. Gallio coming through, same with Stokes. Takes him high. Play on is the call. Gallio gets it back to Paper Talk. Little chip over the top, and it's Wall.
James Wall. I mean, Erlitzson did all the right things by getting in front of Brennan there, but that second effort, I think Brennan just took the front spot, started to dictate play, and that work by Brennan results that shot for James Wall.
Peter, Jared Brennan up forward has created 2. Hard man to mark.
Oh, you'd love to have 2 or 3 Brennans. His ability in the back line as well, and up forward, he's just got great hands. Great kick for goal there.
James Wall slots it through from directly in front, 40 metres out.
James Wall hails from Takura Football Netball Club in the Goulburn Valley League, Victoria, and certainly making his coach Shannon Rusker pretty happy with the start. Southern Districts.
Well, Stokes could feel unlucky there because he got taken high, but it was let go. They got away with it. 3 goals, 3-21 plays, 1 goals, 5-11. Well, if he keeps going, James Wall, might not just be a good wall, but a great wall. Punched away by Jamar. Cut off by Savika. Districts again. Jamar provides an outlet. Now they've got the runners. The Crocodiles go forward inside that 50. Farah sets himself. Punched away though. Cleaned up by Erlitzson. Holloman. Savika versus Rosier. Rosier has got help in the form of Ogden, who got wrapped up by Savika. Now Rosier, little chip over the top. Erlitzson comes in. Can't grab it, but keeps it in front of him. Trying to desperately get it out of there. There's Matty Rosier again. He's got an outlet. Centering kick though, and there's Cameron Stokes. Now he's got the runner Collinson, and he's got a player that's just come on. It looks like Williams. Over the top it is. Damien runs away from Brennan in hot pursuit. Archer presents himself, but the kick bounces in front of him. It is inside the Darwin 50, not in a bad spot.
Perfect timing for that interchange to allow Damien Williams to come on and get an absolute paddock of space, but the kick wasn't great. And Archer again, they had him down in best players for Buffaloes in that first quarter. He was just got on the end of a lot of forward entries for Buffs.
Over the back, Bowden. Hurried kick away under pressure. O'Sullivan. He can just line it up, lobs it. Sambono in there against McGregor, trying to soccer it out of the air. Play on's the call. Goes through for a rush behind.
Defensive work there by Liam McGregor. We haven't seen much of Sambono so far in this game, but we know he's a lightning player and can turn a game with a couple of quick goals.
McGregor's looking for something. Marcus Hamilton tries to bring it in with one hand. Comes back to Williams though. He can't beat the tackle or attention from Bowden. Now they've got some runners out. Ogden. Rosier collects it. Wrapped up without the ball and will get a free kick. Will Matty Rosier.
Got to go the football. Fortunately, I think Nelson took the eyes off the ball.
Well, maybe he did, or he judged that he had it and then made the tackle. Farah leading wide. It falls at his ankles.
Can you girls go?
He's actually picked up, he seems to find a bit of space, Farah. He's picked up more space. He was closely attended in that first quarter, but he seemed to be being more mobile, getting away from the man.
Although it's obviously his right leg's heavily bandaged, his right knee, and he doesn't have that same spring. Let's have a look here.
Brennan just sends it up, tackled. Without it was Roe Duggan. Now he's got time, centering kick. McAdams in there, so's Clark. Knocked away from him. Picked up by Ogden, hurried over that right shoulder. Bounces just in and out. 15 metres around from that point post. 3 goals, 3-21. Plays 1 goal, 5-11.
I think what's happened with Matty Campbell, he's got a corky high on the hip, so he's sort of walking a bit freer the more time he's off the ground. I don't know whether he'll try and go back on, but I reckon he will.
McAdam with hands to Gallio, who just puts it high into the square, looking for Farah. Punched away there by the defenders. Rowe Duggan diving, keeps it in. Cleaned up by Ogden. Hurried kick, taken out was Wall. Play on is the call. Here they come, Duffy. Can't get a hands on it. Now he can. To Farah. Farah gives it back to his teammate in McLaughlin, who kicks it in, has a shot, touched on the line. The ball will go through for a point.
They had all the ascendancy in that passage of play, just kept going back, White convert, and inaccuracy for both teams are going to be costly.
Brendan went early and then interfered with a Darwin player, and there'll be a 50. So Brennan went up before acceptances, and he's come straight off knowing full well.
So all the domination and possession that Southern Districts have had up until this point, they've pretty much played the quarter inside their forward 50. Allows Buffalo a free ride up the ground.
Well, they could use the break. I've got to tell you, that's not the biggest 50 I've ever seen. Oh, actually, I was looking where Atkinson was, but it's actually further on. I'll take that back. Atkinson. Schillerbeer doesn't contest. Jamar was back there. Scramble on the ground. And the ball will be locked up and thrown up about 25 metres out. Slight angle. Good field position for the Buffaloes. Jamar, uncontested. Down to Smith. Hurried kick goes nowhere. The ball's wrapped up again.
How's the dominance of Jamar so far? He's up against Ryan O'Sullivan in the ruck. He's a pretty handy player himself, but Jamar just seems to be getting around the ground, just filling the dangerous spots, winning the taps.
O'Sullivan in round 17, when Darwin actually confirmed their 5th spot, had one of the most dominant ruckman performances I've ever seen inside the NTFL in many years. But he's probably, dare I say it, he seems slightly overawed against Jamar. As Jalen Clark centres it, Anderson picks it up, then is wrapped up by Bowden. Play on is the call. McLaughlin can't get it. Here comes Paper Talk, quick hands. Looking for the leading Farah. Holliman's behind. He beats him to the ball. It's picked, socket on by Ogden. Free kick's been found. Is it a mark or a push? Either or. Take your pick.
Yeah, Campbell's returning to the field. It was an area, his injury was in an area a little lower and more central. He said he'd be okay.
Great work, Pete.
He's better off running it out, Pete.
Yep.
Is that right?
Isn't that what they say?
I never had that injury.
If you get knocked over, dust yourself off and run it out. As Farah goes in short.
Yeah, just loose checking by the Buffaloes defence.
Well, the only problem with this player is that he's wearing a number that's not on the team sheet.
I think he is actually
is he?
up at
Barlow.
the top. They've handwritten for
Ed Barlow. There we go.
Yeah. Barlow with, of course, VFL, AFL experience.
He kicks from 45 metres out. Fred Sleeth likes it behind the goal line. The goal umpire likes it on the goal line. The all clear is given, and Districts go to 4 goals, 4-28. They lead Darwin 1 goal, 5-11.
Barlow, yeah, he has played in the back line for most of this game. He's drifted forward to have that shot at goal, and he's done pretty handy work for Southern District in defence. He just got the run and carry by Paper Talk.
The Crocodiles getting some dominance here, and they're getting it through the midfield, Jared.
Yeah, through Jamar. He's just dominating this game at the moment. Buffaloes might have had all the forward entries in the first quarter, but I think Districts are going to win all the stoppages and the centre clearances.
As he get a big punch away, Gallio has got Rowe Duggan, who gets caught handballs over the top. Loose, Stokes just running straight through. Gallio gathered it but got taken out. So did Duffy just then. Jared Stokes, he's got to go across field. Oh, good contest then between Christopher Williams and Jamar. McAdam comes in. Ball's locked up on the ground. Still loose. Let go. They're going to have to ball it up. Good, hard, physical stuff in the middle of the ground.
Yeah, it is. And criticism of Districts in the first quarter was probably the skill. But they've certainly cleaned that up. Second quarter.
As O'Sullivan won one out, but it was cleaned up. Wall got taken hard by Stokes. Ogden got taken falling. Play on was the call. Bradley Stokes can't pick it up. Under the pressure from Wall. Will he get his second?
Some great skill by the big fella down at the knees.
He played as a rover just then. Bradley Stokes finds Archard, who's been playing across half forward. Goes up back, gives it off to Sullivan, took 2 steps, play on is the call. In the middle of the field, bouncing ball. Roe Duggan's got plenty of time if he wants it, and he does. Gives it off to one of the goal kickers, Barlow. Out wide to Ogden, steps around Clark. He has time, then goes backward through the outlet. Sleeth on the lead in front of Moroney. He turns and looks forward. Farah's pointing up. He's got him, he ignores him. Goes into Paper Talk. Coming across, though, is Atkinson, Darwin defender.
Paper Talk had 2 big defenders then, O'Sullivan as well as Atkinson.
You'd think twice about keep going. Is that what you're saying, Jared? Collinson, still inside the 50. Short. Now Shillabeer's turn to come up to half back to get a touch. Williams nudged out by Bowden. Well, they had players open on this side, but didn't want to take that risk kicking across the corridor. As we see Phil Wills on the sideline there, injury. The skipper hurt his groin last week.
First quarter only went for 22 minutes, obviously a low scoring game, but been pleasing for the players, not having to be out there for half an hour, which is normally how long these quarters go for, but it's searing conditions.
18 points, 3 goals the margin of Shillabeer. Inside the 50 finds Williams, it bounces over him though. Cleaned up by Bowden to the running McGregor. Stokes balks one way, then shrugs off. Just strength. Kicks it to a contest again. Williams in front. Hagan socketed it. It's hacked out. There's Barlow. Very short. Play on will be the call. No, it's a mark. Comes to Rosier onto the running Gallio. Will Farah will get it at 45. Balks, then steps back inside, then goes centering kick. There's Paper Talk and Wall. Paper Talk all alone, bouncing ball. He's got time to score here. Right foot slots it through the middle. Inside out.
It didn't look like he was going to celebrate that one at all, but that's what he's up in the forward line for, to crumb the dribbling ball. Right foot snap, and just the run from behind. Started in defence for Southern Districts, and here it is here. Barlow getting the ball over to Rosier, handball inside. Gallio. Farah out in front of his opponent.
Like what he does here, he just centres it.
Yeah, ball nice and quickly.
Yep. Paper Talk, he's got time. Inside out. Peter, as we approach time on, there's 4 goals difference. Darwin can't let this margin to get any further out.
No, that's certainly the case. They're playing in conditions very, very similar to last week. Slight breeze to the airport end at the moment, but it's not influencing the game. It's just Districts are playing better team footy.
Paper Talk recovers best from that contest with Eldridge. Chips it back inside. He's got Hamilton. Savika, though, with body comes through. Wall picks up. Eldridge picks up. Slung as he gets the handball away. Savika versus Hamilton. Well, Marcus Hamilton is yet to inject himself into this game, Jared. And to me, that's an ominous sign, because Districts has already got some winners and some runners. And he's a very good midfielder.
Absolutely. If he can start getting himself into the play, and he's pretty strong-bodied, so he wants to get into the packs and start getting his hands first to the footy.
Jared dragged off the ball, and he'll get a kick for his troubles.
Played it smart then, didn't he?
He did.
Just knew that the defender was committed, and Barlow handled himself at the right time.
Districts came into this game after a round 18 loss to Tiwi. Form, if winning form is good form, many of the pundits would have thought that Darwin were the team to watch. They've reasserted themselves, the Crocodiles. 5 goals, 5-35. They lead 1 goal, 5-11. We've entered time on.
No doubt that the influence of Jamar has been the catalyst for Southern District. So when you've got someone dominating the centre bounces, the stoppages, you can actually build from that. You can structure from that.
Yeah. Well, he just brings his entire midfield into the game. And on paper, that Southern District's midfield's pretty good. I mean, you're talking about people like Matty Rosier, who is a Thunder, one of Thunder's top 5 best players.
And Gallio's been a huge acquisition in the last 6 games of the season too, and he's just feeding off the ruck dominance.
Well, he's a workhorse, Clinton Gallio. He does all the hard stuff for them, all the hard running. As Matty Campbell, showing no signs of a cork that got him off the field earlier, gives it over to Williams, Chris Williams, who has a shot, drifts across the front, and that's their first score. Sorry, that's their second score this quarter. The Buffs, both points. Dylan Fishwick looking for a target, and he finds Duffy. Duffy's got Ogden out wide, but Jalen Clark's going to interfere, although Ogden comes in front of him. Clark was backing up. Play on is the call. Ogden can give it over the top to the running Barlow, who's drifted all the way down. Barlow kicks into a contest, cutting it off as Maroney, punched away though by Wall. Maroney recovers, gives it off to Eldridge. Eldridge has got the running Collinson. He's given space and time by Schillerbeer, but he's got to get a hurried handball over to Archer. Now he's got to run. He's under pursuit by Brennan. Brings it back inboard to Jared Stokes. Stokes finds Sambono. That looked pretty good. Sambono turns around and Erlinson is all alone.
Great decision by Darwin Buffaloes to transfer the passage of play to the other side, the fat side. District's ball in one side, Darwin Buffaloes through Collinson out the other side, and they were able to catch out the Southern District's defenders who all pushed forward.
Well, the two Smith brothers looked at each other. I thought you were standing, Alex Erlinson, as Erlinson goes back and slots it for a much-needed goal for the Darwin Buffaloes. They now go to 2 goals, 6, but they still trail. 5 goals, 5. Southern Districts, 22 and a half minutes gone in this second term. Jared Stokes. Look at the two Smith boys here. They're actually looking at each other to see whose man Erlinson should be. One gets there.
Collinson, Stokes, Sambono. Need a bit more out of them if Buffaloes are going to actually pick back some of this lead.
No, the movement upfield wasn't smooth though. The ball hit the ground, they regathered and then kept it going. So you'd want that skill level to lift.
Got the desired result though. Ball back in the middle.
Schillerbeer's moved into the middle of the ground. Crocs still get that clearance though. Eldridge can't pick it up.
Great footage from across the ground.
Yeah.
Something new for our viewers. Big Cameron Stokes on the boundary line. That angle again, O'Sullivan winning the tap on that occasion. Wrapped up. Southern District's midfielder wrapped up. Buffaloes, Alex Erlinson, goal kicker.
Versus Wall, good body from O'Sullivan then. Campbell with quick hands. They send it out and high, Archer. Sambono was in the air. Is he going to recover and keep it in? Yes, he is. Puts it on that left boot, centering. Anderson's there, fumbles it, but regathers. He's got time, hurried handball away, dragged off it as his kick. Play on's the call, Bowden. Quick hands over the top, one Smith to the other Smith. Collinson versus Ogden. Ogden, strength, off to Bowden. Now he's under pressure, steps one. Sambono is everywhere. Hurried kick back. Williams keeps it in. Boundary line in, tries to tap it over to his teammate Williams, Damien. They get it out through McAdam to the Crocs. He's kicked it out wide, and if this goes out of bounds, it should be deliberate, you would think. And it'll be thrown in. Well, I don't know who he was kicking to, Jared.
No, there's not too many players around, but again, the transfer of play.
Did someone lead from the golf course?
But how's the confidence of the Southern District's defence?
They backed themselves, didn't they?
They backed themselves.
They weren't afraid to throw it around.
That's right.
Key player in that was Barlow. I think he's been as much value as a couple of the others you've mentioned as being key contributors today that wasn't here last week.
O'Sullivan with a big hand off to Shillabia from 50. Well, he backed himself, but it went out of bounds on the full.
Like he had a bit more time as well, just to run and carry and steady a bit, but
probably just the drop of the ball.
Yeah,
slightly off. It just seemed to move a little bit, but he certainly distance wasn't a problem, that's for sure. Accuracy. Barlow, player Peter Atkinson was just talking about, will restart play with a lazy 55-metre kick out from the back pocket. Getting a good look at what a contest on that far side of the ground is front on. As the siren sounds. So here we are, the end of the first half in the elimination final here at TIO Stadium. And it's Southern Districts, 5 goals, 5-35. They lead Darwin 2 goals, 6-18.
Time to escape, cause I'm in need of warmer weather. Sail upon the stream to find there's someplace better. And I'm going far and wide.
Great Northern Brewing Co. The beer from up here.
Just another beautiful day in the territory, yeah?
Doesn't get any better.
Yeah.
You guys catch anything yet?
Nah, nothing yet. But we're feeling lucky.
See you later.
Road tyres.
Yeah, soft sand.
And a 7-metre tyre. What could possibly go wrong?
Plenty.
Local knowledge is important. Talk to us about TIO Comprehensive Car Insurance. Call us today on 131 TIO. TIO, we're for Territorians.
This summer, pass your personal best. Pass the time doing things you love. Pass the SunSense, please. SunSense SPF 50+ is a very high UV sunscreen sold only in pharmacies that's made right here in Australia for Australian conditions. And for the best price on SunSense, you can't go past Chemist Warehouse.
Intersport, new concept store now open in Casuarina Square. Come in and check out a world-class shopping experience.
Dedicated sports zones.
Now stocking only the biggest brands in tennis, cricket, fitness from treadmills to benches, boxing, swimming, darts, pool and table tennis. For awesome service and advice, still locally owned and operated, the all-new Intersport concept store.
Introducing Southern Cross Television's NTFL broadcast partners. TIO, we're for Territorians. Kennard's Hire, making your job easy.
Southern District's coach Shannon Rusker asked his Crocodiles to snap to it at the start of the second term, and they did. They hold a 17-point lead as we get underway here in the elimination final at TIO Stadium. Wrapping it up is Rosier, comes out, trying to keep that ball moving forward. In there is Brennan, socket off the ground, paper talk, influential today, quick handball out. McLaughlin. Ball's bouncing clear and will go out of bounds 40 metres around from the Southern District's goal. Jared, your thoughts to half-time?
Yeah, look, Southern District's obviously taken control of the second quarter. Pete might give us some detail on the conditions out there. It just seems that when both teams were kicking to the right of screen or to the airport end, there seemed to be more of the football passage of play, forward entries down that side. But both teams obviously a bit inaccurate in front of goal.
Peter. Yeah, there's no weather factor in the reason for the airport end being the scoring end. More psychological, I think. But I think certainly Buffaloes need to be possibly in front at three-quarter time if they're going to overcome that.
Well, they took a risk then out of defence, and that comes out wide as Erlitzson gets held off the ball and then soccers it on. He's not kicking it to anyone in particular. Jared Stokes will pick it up first, though, for Darwin, and the ball goes out of bounds. Peter, that late goal by Alex Erlitzson in the first half really has kept them in the game, hasn't it?
Goal kick is for Darwin Buffaloes. As you said, Alex Erlitzson 1, Matthew Campbell 1 for Southern District's James Wall, Jared Brennan, Jake Rowe-Duggan, Christian Papertalk and Ed Barlow 1 each.
The flyer was Marcus Hamilton then, yet to really inject himself into the game. Moroney gives it off to his colleague, Bradley Stokes, who picks out Timmy Eldridge. Eldridge looking for Erlitzson.
For the last couple of weeks, we've seen the centre square being pushed across the other side of the ground, closest to the scoreboard. So this wing's got a lot more space when there's a centre bounce. And just seen a couple of players try to bounce the ball through that area, and obviously still a little bit soft underfoot because the ball's not coming back up to them.
I think there's a fair bit of sand in there too as they've tried to soak up the water that's been made free. But the loser out of today's game is eliminated from the final series. The winner will actually go on and play the loser of tonight's Nightcliff versus Wanderers game.
It's been a bit of a change forced upon Southern Districts in the ruck in particular.
Sleeth.
Mark Jamar's sitting on the bench with a huge bag of ice on his hamstring, and he's heavily strapped. So that's put Sleeth into the ruck. Buffs have made a couple of changes, including Hagan into the back line.
And O'Sullivan up forward. That's a great pickup with Jamar. That's pretty crucial for Southern Districts.
Ogden off to Gallio back there. 1-2. Loose through the middle. Oh, good body coming through there was Bradley Stokes. Had a serviceable game in that first half. Comes out to Williams. Now to the running Sambono. Sobano on the left is looking for O'Sullivan versus Smith. Bounces over the top. Bowden soccers it off the ground versus Erlitzson. Hip and shoulder. Good physical contest.
Great one-on-one contest there. Erlitzson and Bowden.
There's a fair bit of height in that Darwin forward line, which I'm not opposed to. You've got O'Sullivan, Erlitzson and Shillabeer in there. Elijah Ware, a bit slow off the mark. Cut off by Hagan. Went missing a little bit in that second quarter, but he's back involved now. On to Bradley Stokes, who has space. Out to the leading Erlitzson.
He's worked himself into it, hasn't he? 4 minutes gone. He's been involved in 3 or 4 passes of play, and just great lead, great skills out in front.
Directly behind him, Erlitzson will follow it all the way in. If they needed it, they needed it this way. And it hasn't come off and through for a point. They're the types of misses, Peter, that Darwin has to convert.
They're critical. The move of O'Sullivan into full forward is interesting because without him most of the season, players lack confidence of getting it in there quickly, look for other targets, so it'll be interesting to see if that works.
Good contest between Matty Campbell and Jared Brennan there, and Campbell you'll give the points to on a TK, on a technical. Brought it to ground and forced the contest. Peter, the black armbands, I presume, are for in recognition of the club legend of Darwin, Ali Muir, who passed.
Yes, truly a legend of not just Buffalo Footy Club, which he loved dearly, but also NTFL footy for any of us that have been around for as long as I have. He was just a real character and a personality. The whole time I've been up here, I was aware of him even before coming to Darwin because of his career at Central Districts Footy Club in the SNFL. Wonderful man, and I'm sure that we all send our sympathy to the family.
As Stokes restarts play, Paper Talk gathers it up, then has to give a handball away to Barlow. Long sweeping handball from Barlow to Wall onto Rosier, cut off by Cameron Stokes. Handballs to himself, then soccers it forward. Clark comes in, beats one, has it knocked away, but still manages to get a kick away. A diving Paul Archard will take that mark. That was skill luck.
Oh, he made him work hard. Archard was up for the task.
Oh, back was Brennan, drops what he should have taken. They'll still get out of trouble here, will the Crocodiles? Ogden onto Paper Talk in the middle of the ground. Chips it over the top to Marcus Hamilton. And hasn't had a high pressure impact on the game. Goes in short to his skipper Farah, who turns, then straightens up, then goes back in board. He's got Roe Duggan, who kicked an absolute perler in that first quarter from 49 metres and will go back and have his second shot at goal.
Just great composure by Will Farah there. Just knew he had no one up forward. He's too far and probably too wide to kick the goal or have a crack at goal. Just forced his midfield to push forward into that space. And Jake Roe Duggan's a pretty handy player, pretty skillful. Back him in from a set shot from here.
Has played a bit of footy with Territory Thunder, so you'd expect him to convert.
Will kick from about 40 out. Going to drift away to the right, though, and through for a point. Well, Darwin needs to take advantage of the fact that Jamar is off the field and get some ruck dominance, you would hope.
That's a good point. I think Mark Motloff's put O'Sullivan up the forward, probably conceding the tap.
Yep.
But now that Jamar's off,
think about bringing him back
in there.
Oh, good pick-up and handball there from Clark Edwards. Couldn't quite get it away. Clark Edwards and Collinson trying to combine there as Roe Duggan cleans up handballs. The Crocodiles go back into attack through Fishwick. But Stokes, the ever-reliable Cameron Stokes, finds the running Moroney, who lets it bounce once. His pass off is going to bounce as Erlandson soccers it on. Schillebeer and Erlandson way up on the centre wing. Handball over the top. Jalen Clark will come in. He's got a handball, but it's interfered with. Now Clark cleans it up and gives it off to the running Clark Edwards, who's covered some turf. He gives it back to Clark. Can they keep it in? Bouncing ball. Oh!
Peter, just keep an eye on Alex Erlandson. He obviously did a fair bit of sprinting in that passage of play, but he's just pulled up and he's walked straight off.
Into the goal.
And looks like he could be done for the day.
I think it's a hammy.
Yeah, he's disguised it well. He just, fortunately, just pulled up.
Paper Talk. Oh, Anderson. Great pressure from Anderson. Got to push in the back then. Won't be rewarded for his front position and ask the question.
Yep, definitely pushing the back. Fishwick got away with it.
Great boundary throw in. Sleeth. Whistle goes, and it'll go. A free kick, I reckon, will go to Williams, and it will be. It'll be a high ruck contest. Sleeth wrapped his elbow around his head and dragged him down.
Definitely was there.
Good pick up from the outer zone umpire. Smith got taken high, let go as well. Hey, trying to rush it out. Ball's going to bounce vacant. Someone will pick it up. Sleeth taps it out to McAdam. Hurried kick. He's got Elijah Ware. Not from his side, though. Ware will send it up to a contest. Goes over the top. Liam McGregor is cleaning it up. He'll go across the field looking for runners. Looking for Bowden. Eldridge throws a clean pair of heels. Beats everyone to it. Then gives it off to Campbell. Campbell short pass to Sam Bono. Oh, he's got two in the square if he wants them. Clark and Collinson are there. But he's going to go back and have a deliberate shot. This is well within his range, Jared.
Yeah, absolutely. And if he can kick this goal, it brings Buffaloes right back into the game and lifts his confidence. But the transfer of play of Districts out to space, normally okay, but Timothy Eldred's speed.
How quick? Sambono sets it up. It goes across the face. O'Sullivan marks it, but he takes it over the line in the process. Through for a point. Well, that's a goal they kind of need. Well, they do need. They trail by 16 points. As Barlow kicks long. Jared Brennan tries it with one arm. Sleeth roving. Maroney, though, good work. Gets taken hard. Sleeth recovers the bouncing ball. Then chips it over to the running Bowden, who's come up from half-back, who gives it off to Paper Talk. Paper Talk's got a free man out there, and that's Hamilton. He's all alone. He's got a mile on his time. He chips it over to Skipper Farah, who takes the easiest of marks. Then goes on and plays a handball to James Wall, who kicks his third. In fact, he kicks his second.
Yeah, just look at the run from Southern Districts out of defence. They had 5 options, 5 free players inside their forward 50, and it's just a matter of just handballing it over, looping it over. You can only think, look at the skill by Sleeth here, just to chip it on the outside of his boot. Good skill.
Good awareness by Bowden to know to play on, to give it off. He had so much time here.
Chip over the top. He's found that spare player out the back, and all they had to do.
And Bowden's run all the way down to full forward from half-back.
Yeah, when you're controlling the footy, get away with that, but and good skill.
Sleeth versus Williams, and no one really got a hand on it. Rosier is trying to get the stoppage away, so we'll give that stoppage to the Crocs as McAdam sicks it on the boot. Stokes had front position versus Wall. Well, they're up and about Southern Districts clearly if Michael Bowden's prepared to run effectively 100 metres to be involved in play.
Yeah, absolutely. A lot of confidence. You can turn attack off the half-back line into goals like that.
6-6-42, plays 2 goals, 8-20. Margin was 17 points at half-time. It's now out to 20. 22 points, so they slowly clawed it further ahead of the Crocodiles. Good field position for Southern Districts. Shannon Rusker on the sidelines. Under a bit of pressure this week after last week's loss, but they've rebounded beautifully. There's a player down on the ground there with no one around him.
He just can't afford that. It's only the third quarter and 13 minutes gone, and
cramp?
Yeah, it looks just like cramp, so I'd be getting him off. Get the rotations going.
From here, it actually looks like Sleeth. Stand-in ruckman. Farah got interfered with, and in fact will get a free kick for that interference, and we'll go back and have a shot directly in front. No, it's not Sleeth. Or is that Hamilton?
McAdam gives the ball to Hamilton. No. To the full forward, Will Farah. Erlinson's returned to the interchange bench. He's heavily favouring one leg. I think the diagnosis made from up high was correct. He's injured a hamstring.
Peter, who's that player being stretched on the far side there? Do you reckon that's Marcus Hamilton? I can't pick him out in general play here as Farah converts an important goal. 7 goals, 6:48 they move to Southern Districts at the 14-minute mark here in the third term. The premiership quarter, they say. They lead Darwin 2 goals, 8-20.
Southern Districts players telling Stokes all about it. Who's the player that gave away the free kick? Yeah, Marcus Hamilton.
That is Hamilton.
Sort of trouble, and I'll be looking to get him off straight away as the free kick to Will Farah.
Well, Shane Shearing, the runner, went out to him.
No.
But he's staying out there. Good bounce from the umpire. O'Sullivan wins it out. comes to Matty Campbell on the burst. He's got the leading Jalen Clark, wipes his hands, then marks it.
O'Sullivan straight into the ruck. They win the clearance.
What about Jalen Clark? Decides to wipe his hands while he's running for the ball.
Yeah.
See if we get that on replay.
Pretty handy kick, Jalen Clark.
Well, he's not far out. He'd be only 20 metres out, really. 45-degree angle. It's gettable. Accuracy, the challenge. And he just gave it a little bit too much Weet-Bix and it goes across the face, but there's a mark, claim of a mark. Handball over the top. Collinson has a chance, can't get his foot to it. McGregor, reliable, gets it out of there, only as far as the Damien Williams, though, who turns on his right foot, snaps. And it goes out of bounds on the full. Smith. Samuel, the older of the two Smith boys. And a 50-metre penalty will be given against Jalen Clark for going over the mark. And Smith puts him inside the 50. Kicks it to Hagan, though, from Darwin. Picked up by Bradley Stokes. His kick is smothered by Wall. .28 points the difference here in the third term.
The Buffaloes having most of the attacking opportunities in the last minute there, and just again an easy let off 50-metre penalty, which brings them into attacking position on the ground for Southern District.
Well, Buffs got knocked out in the first round of finals last season, and it's happened to him again as Farah is on the receiving end of a long kick, but he spills it as he falls to ground. Gallio tries to kick it, in fact it was Duffy tried to get it. It comes out and Hagan has a steady and a bounce, but Roe Duggan does the hard work in a chase. He uses up his full 15, does Hagan. Gives a looking for Shillabeer. At the back is Sambono. Sambono from 42 out, sits it up high. Archer's there, so too is Barlow. It bounces clear. And on all fours was Timmy Eldridge from Darwin. And they get a score, but it's a point. They need a goal. Jared Stokes, O'Sullivan, the ruckman. Sends it up and high and back into that forward pocket area. At the back is Eldred. Off hands was Clark Edwards. Then just Archard. Archard snaps at the top of the square and scores.
Great hands by Clark Edwards to rove that crumbing football. One hand, one touch, quick handball over to Archard, and Archard's had plenty of opportunities in the forward 50. And absolutely, Darwin Buffaloes needed that goal. Try and swing the momentum back in their favour.
After all the pressure that Darwin has applied to Southern Districts throughout the 3 quarters of this game, they've only scored 3 goals. Peter, are you surprised by that?
I just keep thinking back to the first quarter when they should have had 3 or 4 more. They just seem, they just need a key forward to get on top for 5 minutes. They probably need a couple late in this quarter, and I'd give them a great chance of still getting up.
Margin gets dragged back to 22 points as O'Sullivan wins straight out to Matty Campbell. Campbell's got the leading Archer, but it's going to be chopped off by Sam Smith. Districts relieve some pressures, and outlet is McAdam.
The run by Ogden, he's been a catalyst for them off the half-back line.
In fact, all of their half-back, Bowden, Ogden, they're all running. There's Ogden. And picks out Fred Sleeth with a great pass in traffic. Sleeth has got Farah on the leap. Paper Talk, though, will collect this and run straight into an open goal and drifts it off. Well, he had no one between him and the goals 30 metres out.
Tell you what, both teams are giving each other a chance to win the game.
Bradley Stokes. 7 goals, 7 plays, 3 goals, 8. About 30 seconds away from time on. Roe Duggan. In and under. Great tackle from Stephen Anderson. Play on's the call. Good hip and shoulder from Chris Williams. And the ball will be thrown up. Some good physical bodies then from both teams. Jared Brennan slaps it out, but Stokes reads it well off the hands. Just put it to space, and in that space was Lionel Ogden, who goes back across the ground and picks out Duffy. Duffy finds Paper Talk. Been up and about all day has Christian Paper Talk. Didn't play last week. Gives it off to the running Barlow from half-back. There's another one of those half-back defenders. He tries to step Moroney, though, and is put under pressure. They might get out of this, Darwin. Hagan hands across to Atkinson. Now they get out of it. Eldridge with a quick kick finds Moroney all on his own. Back inside to Jared Stokes. They've got no runners. He's got no one to go to, so he's got to go across field, out the back, and it's Cameron Stokes. Darwin skipper today.
They worked it well to find the overlap in Anderson.
And Anderson now, with that unusual drop that he has when he kicks, gives it to Sambono. And Sambono sets it up. He's got Chris Williams running onto it. Williams taps over to Archard. Archard under pressure, but with time, slots it through. And the Buffaloes get their fourth and claw another one back.
Strategically played there. I mean, whether it was on purpose or not, but it just beautifully played. To transfer the play from Stokes to Jared Stokes, that is, across and backwards to Cameron Stokes to find Anderson in space. District's defenders and midfield did all the right thing to try block up the centre square, but by spreading the defence, it allowed...
Clever from Williams just then too to tap it on.
It allowed Darwin Buffaloes some space inside their 50.
Benny Archard steps up. It's his second in this term, and probably second in about 3 minutes. 22 minutes we're coming up to. 7 goals, 7:49. 4 goals, 8:32. Darwin. They trailed by 17 points at half-time, and the Buffaloes get another one out of the middle. It's cleaned up by Smith, who picks out McAdam again. Now, no Mark Jamar after half-time so far, Jared, and O'Sullivan starting to get on top.
Yep, they've won the last 3 centre clearances off the tap of O'Sullivan.
Rosier. Jared Stokes, absolute speedster. Keeps it in. Finds Clark. Clark hasn't really got a target. He's got no target. He's been encouraged to kick it on by Peter Atkinson. Punched away at the back is Chris Williams. Quick handball over the top. The goal scorer, Ben Archard, dips it up inside. He's got Shillabeer with a sit. Shillabeer, the big guy, brings it down. Hagan at the base, beats one, then puts it on the boot, puts it through.
Michael Hagan, he started on the forward line in the first quarter. Had to go back off the half-back flank, and that's where he's kicking his goals. He's done all the hard work to push forward. As we see him on screen, pushing back to his back flank position. Chris Williams.
Chris Williams, for my mind, the last couple of weeks has probably been one of their unnoticed heroes. Big punch by Barlow there on Archer, but watch this. This is good.
That's 2 now.
Shillabeer has the sit here. Good pressure there, but Hagan, look at that. And we talked about Bowden before running 100 metres to be up forward and be the option, and Hagan's done exactly the same thing.
Ain't it funny? They started on each other in the first quarter. One apiece.
Matty Rosier versus Michael Hagan. Rosier with pace gives it back inside. The leading Hamilton, who went down with cramp, and I thought he grabbed his leg then. He's going to take his time and go back and have a shot. You would think with cramp this will be outside his range. He's going to have to kick from 45, maybe further out. He's on an acute angle.
If anything, he's just allowed his midfield and I guess back line a bit of breathing space. Buffaloes had most of the attack.
Well, he's lined it up. He's certainly got the distance as the siren sounds. The kick, though, is offline, and the margin as we go to the 3-quarter time break will be 12 points. Southern District 7 goals 850, lead Darwin 5 goals 838.
Time to escape, cause I'm in need of warmer weather. Sail upon the stream to find there's someplace better. And I'm blue and far and wide.
Great Northern Brewing Co. The beer from up here.
Just another beautiful day in the territory, Al.
Doesn't get any better.
Yeah.
You guys catch anything yet?
Nah, nothing yet, but we're feeling lucky.
See you later.
Road types.
Yeah, soft sand.
And a 7 metre tide. What could possibly go wrong?
Plenty.
Local knowledge is important. Talk to us about TIO Comprehensive Car Insurance. Call us today on 131 TIO. TIO, we're for Territorians.
This summer, pass your personal best. Pass the time doing things you love. Pass the Sunsense, please. Sunsense SPF 50+ is a very high UV sunscreen sold only in pharmacies that's made right here in Australia for Australian conditions. And for the best price on Sunsense, you can't go past Chemist Warehouse.
Intersport, new concept store now open in Casuarina Square. Come in and check out a world-class shopping experience. Now stocking only the biggest brands in tennis, cricket, fitness from treadmills to benches, boxing, swimming, darts, pool and table tennis. For awesome service and advice, still locally owned and operated, the all-new Intersport concept store.
Introducing Southern Cross Television's NTFL broadcast partners. TIO, we're for Territorians. Kennard's Hire, making your job easy.
We're underway here for the final term, the elimination final. Darwin with the work to do. They have to get 2 goals to get back in front as it's cleared out to Districts, and Hamilton has it punched away. And in fact, he'll be awarded a mark. And the Crocodiles will go into attack straight away. Hamilton's kick across field has found his teammate in Valance. Valance from 55 kicks it long and high. That's through! What a way to start for the Crocodiles. 8 goals, 8.56 to 5 goals, 9.39. Peter Atkinson, that wouldn't have been expected by Mark Motlop.
No, he'd be disappointed in that, obviously, but they're trying to put as much pressure as possible on the young District's full-back and isolating Shillabeer, but that relies on them winning the ball in the middle. They've got probably their best 4 in there, but the centre bounce contest now become just ultra critical, the way that both sides are trying to win the game.
And Jamer not even in a jumper, so he won't be taking any part of the game. Peter, did Mark Motlop tell his troops he felt they can win?
Oh, of course. He felt that if they're prepared to back themselves, take a few chances and run the ball quickly, but not mess around with it across half forward, get it in quickly to Shillabeer and then sweep in behind it is their formula, but Districts might have something to say about that approach.
Are you still prepared to stick with them in this final term, Pete?
Oh, I think the game's up for grabs. I think the ability of Buffaloes to kick quick goals is going to keep this game interesting right through to the time-on period.
And it's a good crowd in here at TIO Stadium. Jared, just quickly, you're going to stick with Darwin?
Yeah, absolutely. I won't jump the ship now, but goal kickers for Southern Districts to date. James Wall has 2, Jared Brennan, Jake Rowe-Duggan, William Farrer, Bradley Valance, Christian Papertalk, Ed Barlow 1 apiece. For Darwin Buffaloes, Alex Erlandson with 1, Ben Archer 2, Michael Hagan and Matthew Campbell 1 each.
So is Valance or Rowe-Duggan's goal the 2 best goals today, in your opinion? Pretty hard.
Yes. I expect someone to beat that in this final term. When Buffaloes get up and going, they got some pretty clever players in front of goal, as do Southern Districts through William Farrer.
Well, O'Sullivan there is absolutely critical, and his kick forward will go out of bounds. And I suppose it's times like this that you realise the importance of someone like Darwin skipper Phil Wills, who unfortunately is out injured.
Another emphasis was made by Mark on manning up on the key couple like Brennan and Barlow, particularly Barlow. Yep. He doesn't want him to get any uncontested balls. He's very, very good at reading the play.
In the middle, and there's Clinton Gallio, puts it on the boot. Williams is now marking Farrer. They try and get the ball away. Atkinson dragged off it. Farrer, though, recovers. He's got time. Right foot sets it up. Across the face and out of bounds, and Michael Hagan will restart play. Well, at quarter time, Darwin held a 2-point lead. Southern Districts fought back to hold a 17-point lead, and the margin went to 11 for the Crocodiles at 3-quarter time. Moroney under pressure straight away. Kept back in, Valance, then Brennan, then Hagan. Now he's got time. We haven't seen a lot of him, but that's Holloman. Play on, the ball hits the ground. He's asking what's going on. Let go, Ed Barlow. The free kick's been found and paid, and now there should be, no, will there be a 50? No, not suck it in. And a 50 because the Southern Districts player, which was Dylan McLaughlin, decided he wanted to push Chris Williams in the chest. Emergency umpires up and about. There is a lot at stake. The winner will go on and play the loser of tonight's major final, which will be Nightcliff versus Wanderers, and the loser gets eliminated. We see Phil Wills on the sideline there, egging on his teammates. Chris Williams, from 49 metres out, lines it up and had the distance by a country mile, but not the accuracy. 4.5 minutes gone. 8 goals, 8.56 to 5.10.40. They've really got to start converting these shots, Jared.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean,
they're getting them.
15 scoring shots for Darwin Buffaloes, 16 scoring shots for District. So both relatively inaccurate and giving each other a chance to win the game.
Well, the kick in has found Sambono. Looking for his teammate Shillabeer. Smith got wrapped up. O'Sullivan's there. Now he's got Sambono again on the boundary line. Left foot just centering. It's 2 versus 1. And punched across the line by Liam McGregor for Southern Districts.
I can confirm both big men, one for each club, won't return to the field. Jamar for Southern Districts and Erlinson for Buffaloes.
As Collinson snaps it on his left. Goalworth, this looks good to me. All clear given. It looks good to the goal umpire. Absolutely crucial. We're back to a 10-point ball game.
Just didn't look confident, did they? Districts coming out of the back 50. Collinson, very clever player in front of goal. He plays on the wing.
Well, the kick in from McGregor gets intercepted. Right.
Yes.
Knocked off by Stokes. There's Stokes. Now Collinson. Come on. 8 goals, 8.56 plays, 6.10.46. 6 minutes about to go in the final term. And a whistle's gone. Blood rule.
Blood rule for 13 for Districts.
Which is Dylan. In fact, as Bradley Valance will come off through the interchange. Matthew Duffy will be allowed to go on and take his place on the side before the game restarts after the goal. Peter, what about Darwin's fitness? In the last few weeks, they've really run home strongly against everyone they've played.
Yeah, despite Nightcliff's confidence last week that they were stopping a bit, I think the last 3 games have just prepared them perfectly for this sort of finish.
Trying to barge through there was Ware. Ben Archer now onto the running O'Sullivan. He just puts it up, looking for Shillabeer. 2, punched away by Smith, Samuel Smith. On the ground there, keeping it in Sambono. We need some brilliant Shillabeer, though, with a centering kick. Oh, with a grab was O'Sullivan.
Sandwich in between the Southern District's defenders.
It's a crocodile sandwich.
They just stood tall.
Don't be silly. Don't be silly. It was a triple-decker. A crocodile buffalo sandwich. How did he even hold on to this? He was under so much pressure. Look at that. And Barlow just gives him an elbow in the head to go on with.
Got to kick the goal, though. They need 2 in a row to start building some momentum.
Well, he'd only be about 12 metres out, directly in front. And he leans back into it and puts it through. Here they come. The margin back to 4 points. This is going to be a cracker finish to what has been a high-standard game all day.
He's drifted down from the ruck, so he's the one that actually kicked it inside the forward 50. This is how dangerous Sambono can be at ground level. Just keeps the ball in, keeps it alive. O'Sullivan still pushing down through the corridor. Plunk.
It was effectively 3-on-1 there. District's bench looking on. Momentum in football is a funny thing.
Brennan in the ruck.
O'Sullivan down to the running Campbell, then off to Clark, back to Campbell. Campbell with a handball over the top to Anderson. Here they come, over to Jared Stokes. Stokes, right foot, snaps it. Have they got their third? Yes, they have.
There it is, 3 in a row. That's what you don't want Buffaloes to do. Get their crowd involved. It's exciting football when they're up and about. Certainly some work to do by the Southern District's midfielders. Got to win the next clearance.
Well, they're not shuffling here, the Buffaloes. They're stampeding. What about the work of Campbell, Peter Atkinson? He went off with a cork. No signs of it.
Yeah, I think the cork was a misdiagnosis, but just the brilliance of a player like him at the crucial times, the value of that player. And Districts have got a couple capable of doing the same, Brennan and a couple of others, so great finish.
Now James Wall into the ruck for Districts.
They hit the front, 2 points, the Buffaloes. They're trying to get it out. Elijah Ware gets pinned, ironically, for kicking in danger. I'll say that because he got a free kick in the round 17 that got the Buffaloes into the 5 for the same infringement. It's over the back, Moroney versus Farah. Tapped onto Barlow, who's wrapped up and dragged down. Stokes pleading for a holding the ball. Umpire Smith having no word of it, and the ball will be thrown in a metre around from the point post.
Latched on Timothy Eldridge and didn't let go. I thought he deserved the free kick.
A free kick's been found, advantage has been paid. It's gone Darwin's way. Collinson. Well, there was a ruck infringement there.
Yep.
If we're lucky enough to get a look at that in the replay, but great camera angle just down there before. Get a good look at this contest. 65 metres around. Wall versus O'Sullivan. Here we go. Put up by Gallio, long and high. Farah's the flyer. Stokes punches it away. Quickly, Rosier slaps it through, and I think he's kicked it, and the Crocodiles take the lead back.
There's the reply, Matthew Rosier, with too much time and space, and he's a left footer. Great opportunist goal. Contest by Will Farah too. He had to come from 2 or 3 deep just to...
That was Gallio up and under.
Bring this to ground.
Duffy, quick hands. No one in the square. That's experience for you. 9 goals, 8-62. They lead by 4 points. Darwin, 8 goals, 10-58. Seesaw football. Buffs kick 3 in a row to regain the lead, and here they go again. Shillabere out of the middle, looking for Sambono. Tapped it out, Sambono soccers it on, just keeps it moving forward. Sam Smith picks it up, puts it on the boot, punched away Eldridge with some body, and a high tackle, advantage paid. Dragged down, McLaughlin. Moroney trying to keep, Stokes with a one-handed pickup. Looking for Hagan. Hagan thought about going, then got interfered with, and it'll be 50.
Yep. Didn't go back onto the mark, Jack Rowe-Duggan.
He thought about going, didn't play on, the umpire didn't call play on.
Scoring distance too for Michael Hagan. This is what you want in an elimination final.
Well,
that's sensational. As soon as there's a bit of shade over the footy field, the intensity has lifted
enormously. Like I say, Darwin the last few weeks have shown a fair bit in the final term of every game. As Hagan from directly in front, 40 out, kicks it, and it just sneaks in. And they retake the lead. It's a 2-point ball game. Darwin go to 9 goals, 10-64. They lead Southern Districts 9 goals, 8-62. Eldridge with strong body there. That was helpful.
That was a free kick, but advantage was played. Stokes, one hand.
Here we go. That's a great pickup. He thought about going, went back. Duggan. Rowe-Duggan. Well,
back to the middle.
It happens.
Buffaloes have dominated the centre clearances in the last quarter.
Well, we've seen a big lift from O'Sullivan, haven't we?
Have.
The lead's changed 4 times. And be balled up again. Clearly, they've realised, Peter, that Jamar wasn't coming back in, so they've just said to O'Sullivan, you've got free rein. Jared Brennan. Hurried kick. Bouncing ball, Savika. Stokes. Oh, his handball is intercepted by Gallio, gives it off to Sleeth. Here they come. Gallio runs on, drags, miss, beats one. Could line it up and take the lead back, and I think he has.
Great work by Gallio. Just a second, third effort to get the ball forward, follow up, handball by Sleeth. Just to break away from the tackle. He certainly deserves a goal.
And the lead changes for the 5th time in this final term. And we go back to a 4-point ball game. Look at the handball. Good. Here we go. Wall won that one out. Jared Stokes, though, soccers it forward. Clark Edwards leading the race, can't collect it. Put under pressure there by Christian Papertalk.
Had the first quarter go for 22 minutes, the second quarter 26 minutes, the third 25 minutes. So we'll all be watching the time on.
Still a lot of football left in this game. Either side wants to bow out as O'Sullivan gives it off to Shillabeer, who was doing some roving work. Sits it up for Ben Archon. It bounces over the back. Sambono will run into an open goal.
He's kept his feet, didn't he? And turn of pace as it bounces over the back, and they just break your heart, those goals, when they just bounce over the back.
It is a goal-a-thon, and there is some highlights coming out of this game. What's about the tap of O'Sullivan there? Shillabeer showing his versatility. Look at Sambono. No one's going to get him over that distance.
No, the defender did everything possible, the Southern District's defender, just front position, but the ball just carried over the back. Fortunately, District's defender lost his feet, went to ground, and Sambono just capitalised.
6 times the lead has changed hands already. We're at the 16-minute mark. Papertalk had his handball intercepted. Jalen Clark. Now here comes the Buffaloes again. Can they get 2 in a row? Collinson gives it back out to no one. It's loose bouncing Rosier for Southern Districts. Gets his hands on it first, but he gets wrapped up by Williams. The ball's still loose. Umpire letting it go. And now he'll ball it up. It's a 2-point ball game. Darwin in front. 10 goals, 1070 to 10 goals, 868. 20 scoring shots to 18.
In the finals either, is there?
No, there is a drawn game. In fact, if the scores are level at the end of this game, I'll get to it. I'll get to that in a moment, as the ball will restart. Now, if the game is drawn at the end at full time, there'll be a 5-minute break, in which time the coaching staff will talk to the players. The teams will then change ends and play 5 minutes. After the first 5 minutes, there'll be a 3-minute interval, as the ball and a free kick's been found here, and it's going to go to Southern Districts now. So they'll play 5 minutes one way, there'll be a 3-minute break, and then they'll play 5 minutes the other way, and the team with the highest score will win. Now, if the scores are level at the end of 10 minutes, then basically they'll play until it becomes golden point, Peter. A Shillabeer now working defensively, guides the ball out of bounds. 17.5 minutes gone. 2 points difference.
But the moral of the story is that we'll have a winner and we'll have a loser by the end of the game.
Even if we're here all night. Stay tuned. Collinson, socket off the ground. Roe Duggan has been a hero for most of the game. He plays on quickly. He's going to kick it to the leading Farah. Oh, Moroney went early. Let go. Play on's the call. Papertalk dances around one, then chips it out to McAdam, who's all on his own. McAdam runs in. Moroney put him under pressure, but it doesn't matter. McAdam scores. And Districts take the lead back by 4 points. The lead's changed 7 times.
McAdam's been a pretty handy contributor for Southern Districts across the 4 quarters as well, and another player that deserved a goal. He had to make sure he nailed that though, because he had spare Districts player in the goal square, but he made no mistake.
Very talented player, young Charlie McAdam. And certainly the McAdam name famous in the territory for a family that's achieved much in footy, but he's just played a brilliant game today, just thrived in the finals pressure.
I'm not game to call the end result just yet. In fact, I haven't even told people who my tip is. As Campbell diving on it, drags it back in, then taps it out. Duggan gets wrapped up, gets intercepted by Shillabeer, and Buffaloes go forward. Sambono's got the centre fly! Up like a Qantas jet.
And a tackle.
And a tackle too, but play on's the call. The umpires have put the whistle away just to let it flow. And the crowd's loving it. It's a big crowd at TIO Stadium. Over to Paper Talk. They've got time, but they've got no one free. He finds Hamilton. Oh, Hamilton's got the runner. Valance. He's kicked one from further out than this. He lines it up, and the Crocodiles get 2 in a row.
There's this transfer of play. Zambono bringing the house down with a massive fly and almost follows up with a tackle. But it's all districts going the other way. Christian Paper Talk's been instrumental in the last 5 minutes.
Well, this is the biggest margin since the three-quarter time break, and it's 10 points.
Now it's up to the Buffaloes to return serve. They've certainly got some momentum up, but districts.
We're in time on. The Crocodiles holding a 10-point lead.
Pretty good celebration there too.
Not too bad. I don't think Darwin are done yet, though.
Look at this. O'Sullivan just needs to tap it forward, no doubt. The Buffaloes just trying to run into forward space.
The youngster Smith is in there. Rosier, though, experienced. Hamilton, under pressure, takes a strong mark, and Stokes holds his shoulder. You reckon his shoulder?
Leg, I reckon.
Leg?
He come down on that.
Hamilton,
right leg.
Back inside. Farah comes out, so too does Hagan, and he has a run. He has time, and he has a look upfield. Holloman can't mark it. Barlow cleans up. Gallio back inside, but it's under pressure. Barlow, though, composure over the top to Eldridge. We're 1 minute into time on, 10 points the difference. The Buffalo crowd urging their players on. As Archer presents himself, couldn't take the mark, and the ball will go out of bounds right in front of the district's bench. Crowd getting right into this.
Barlow just strong in defence again. He's just been one of their best players for Southern Districts.
Finals football is great football. They got their money's worth today, did the crowd. O'Sullivan, dragged off it was Campbell, let go. Oh, taken late was Brennan, but let go. Savika with the body, and a deliberate out of bounds has been paid, and Kevin Moroney will be the recipient.
Buffs are rushing Cameron Stokes off that leg. Keep him out for the rest of the game.
A Shillabeer from centre half back, kicks it to centre half forward, but there's no one there except McGregor. For Southern Districts. Here they come now, the Crocodiles. Morrish. Sleeth. Steady as you like. They've got 3. They're on a roll, the Crocodiles.
They've responded brilliantly. Buffalo certainly took the challenge up to him by getting in front on a number of occasions.
And the margin is now 16 points. And at the 22.5-minute mark, a comeback from the Darwin Buffaloes, you would think Peter Atkinson is a challenge for any team.
Yeah, I think it's going to be pretty difficult now. They've struggled to kick 2 goals in a row this quarter anyway, but 3 in about 4 minutes is a huge ask.
Well, when the question got asked before time on of Southern Districts by the Darwin Football Club, they responded. And they go again. Campbell desperately trying to lift his team. Paper Talk, been one of Crocodile's best today. Rosier, been in everything. And on that occasion, puts it out of bounds. Clark Edwards. They will want to get this ball going and moving as quickly as they can. Darwin. Jared Stokes will be rewarded with a mark. There's no time to wait. He's going to have to stand up, but he's cramped.
Because it's the mark, he's got to take the kick.
No, in fact, the umpire is going to let the other player take it. He's not re-entered play. Still in. Hugged the boundary line, and in fact, inside the 50 now. About 45 metres around. Well, Darwin really need to score here. I'm stating the obvious, I know, but at 24 minutes gone, they trail by 16 points. If they lose, they're eliminated from the finals.
Ooh.
The ball's loose. Free kick's been found high, and it'll go to Southern Districts, and that forward pressure will be released.
Shannon Rusker would be absolutely over the moon the way his young backline has handled the pressure. Full credit to them.
What's been impressive is I think the coaching staff's composure, and I think it's actually translated to the players on the field. They're very constructive, encouraging at the quarter-time breaks, and it looks like it's paid off.
Farah, the flyer from behind against Shillabere. Trying to clean up is Moroney, swapped on by three Southern Districts players, and Marcus Hamilton runs away with it, but he gets held. And a free kick will go to Moroney, so he was grabbed without possession. He basically got gang tackled by those Districts players. He's looking for a target, and he hasn't really got one, so he's got to go in short. Clark Edwards can't get it. It goes over the back, and McGregor, one of those youngsters that Jared Eilert was talking about today. Collinson, over to Clark. Clark onto Collinson again, who balks. Now they go forward. Archer coming out is Anderson. Anderson with a high kick at goal as there's another Darwin player down. Stretching, and that looks like Sambono. The ball has gone out of bounds, though, through Anderson's kick.
Like the byproduct of 5 to 6 weeks of solid football for the Darwin Buffaloes.
Yeah. Look, they really did work hard to get this 5th spot, so full credit to them. But they've been here before, and they were here last year, and they got dumped in that first week last year, and they've put up a much better show this year. They're still trailing by 16 points. We are well and truly into time on. 26 minutes gone, Jared, as a high tackle goes unrewarded, and Ed Barlow will come away with it for Districts.
Got to overlap players now. Plenty of space for them to run into.
Ogden, Barra. Well,
and 50. Well, Will Farah's the captain. He's certainly be proud of his players' efforts to this point in time. Just to be gifted a goal like that with there's got to be only seconds left in the game.
Well, if this was a cake, then Will Farah's goal will be icing.
Absolutely.
And from 8 metres out, he slots it straight through, and the margin becomes 22 points. 14 goals, 892, plays 10 goals, 1070. Now keep in mind, the lead changed 6 or 7 times before we got to this point. Peter, do you think Darwin will look back at this season with many regrets? I mean, obviously being knocked out in the first round, or will they take a lot of positives out of the season?
Oh, they deserve to take a lot of positives out of it, for sure. They've got a group of players in that middle band that have got another 15 to 20 games under their belt now. And they've just got to get better as their core gets better. No, I think they'd take a lot of positives out of it. Mark's done a tough job really well, I reckon.
And he's got to try and hold their big players, O'Sullivan in particular. Shillabere
has advantage. Paid off to Roe Duggan, who slots one from 50, his second today.
Yep.
The second one from 50, that is. In the first quarter, he kicked an absolute perler from 49, but that one, textbook.
Had a very average game last week, so in that loss to Tiwi Bombers, great credit to the lad to lift so much today. And they've had several players with the inclusion of Barlow and a couple like that, and Jamar in the first half before he got injured.
Free kick was
just
paid.
meant the roles were different.
And this is the thing, Peter, when Jamar was on the field, people like Roe Duggan were really brought into it, but he's kept going even with Jamar off. Locked up in the middle. 15 goals, 898. 10 goals, 1070. 28 points the difference. Jared Stokes with the run of the ball. He can give a handball off, he'll get it back. He may slot one back and slot the margin, slice it, and he has. And the Darwin fans reward his persistence.
Clever little left foot snap.
I've got no doubt they'll look back to the first quarter when they should have had another 3 or 4 goals, and that would have changed the whole complexion of the game. You can't look back, you can't go back, and they've got what they've got now.
The margin in the first quarter was 2 points to Darwin, but they'd kicked 1 goal for, 5 scoring shots to 3, and I think Jared gave the stat, or Peter gave the stat, that they'd been inside their forward 50 17 times for 5 scoring shots. Margin at half-time was 17 points. Districts clawed their way back. It got cut to 11 points. Now we're back to 22. O'Sullivan wins out of the middle. Anderson just wants to keep it going. McAdam kicked a crucial goal in this quarter. Duggan, Smith, Gallio. Been workmanlike all day. Hagan cuts off Farah's supply. Williams off the ground. Can't get it clearly. Stokes onto Gallio with body. Rosier wrapped up. Here comes Paper Talk. To Farah, out in front. And the skipper takes a fingertip.
Worked himself to that front position and, like you said, fingertips to the ball, just controlled it. Able to take it on the second grab.
Peter, I think a couple of the Darwin players this season have really established themselves in the overall scheme of the game. I mean, Kevin Moroney this season has been repeatedly among their best players all year.
Changed.
And then Phil Wills during the year stood right up as the skipper, makes no mistakes and puts it straight through. Yeah, Peter, I was just saying that someone like Kevin Moroney has this year repeatedly stood up and has established himself as a quality NTFL player.
No doubt. I agree with that fully, and the possibility of him becoming, say, a midfield player, on-baller as well. He's so clean with the ball. Very, very good player, Kevin Moroney.
And I just think that Darwin's had a few of those this year. You talked about the younger players with an extra 15 solo games under their belt. I think there's enough positives, but Southern Districts now will take something away from this game. They know that they can lift when they have to and when they're challenged.
Saw the shot of the bench there, Southern District's bench, and there's some smiles finally.
This is a long quarter, 31 and a half minutes gone. 16 goals, 804 to 11 goals, 1177. There'd be some tired bodies out there right now, and then tomorrow even sorer. Smith punches it away. Moroney, who we were talking about before, Collinson, and the siren sounds. Buffs bow out in the first week of the NTFL finals here at TIO Stadium. Southern Districts fight on to live another day. And the Crocodiles rock at 16 goals, 8, 104 to Darwin's 11 goals, 11, 77.